Let's call to order the June 18 meeting of the Economic Development Authority of the City of Lynchburg. Start with roll call. Sean Hewitt.
Here.
Patricia Mosby.
Here.
Kevin Peterzak.
Here.
Kimberly Sorensen.
Here.
John Stone. Here. Richard Tugman.
Here.
Sackett Wood.
Here.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes from our May 15 meeting. Any comments or suggestions on those minutes before I accept a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
We've got a motion to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, like sign. All right, our minutes are approved. Margette, this says I'm going to speak about the nominating committee.
Yes, you are. You need to select two people to be on the nominating committee for officers for the EDA for the coming FY 26 year.
Okay, is that something I'm supposed to do right this minute?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any volunteers to be the two members of our nominating committee?
And I'm here to assist you.
Thank you.
I'll be on the committee if I don't have to be an officer.
There you go. Way to step up,
I'm
Sean.
happy to nominate other people.
That's amazing.
I guess we'll take that. It's our best offer so far.
How many? Two? Do we have candidates?
Well, the
You're
truth
looking
is
at 'em.
that a lot of you are already some kind of officer.
Join forces together and be also the
Okay,
nominating
thank you
committee.
so much.
Yes.
That's exactly right. That's amazing. There you go, John. Tied up in a bow.
Beautiful.
You gotta love
That's right.
the volunteer spirit of this board.
All right, so I have appointed a nominating committee, which will be Sean Hewitt and Sackett Wood. Thank you, gentlemen, for serving.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Margette, would you like to speak about the EDA retreat?
Yes, as I mentioned just now, the Framatome ribbon cutting, where the governor will attend, is on July the 17th, which would be normally when I would schedule your retreat. I try not to schedule them on an off day because you put the meetings on your calendar ahead of time. I just think it would probably really push it to do that. So I would just ask that you all consider or send me some dates that might work for you in July, unless you want to get here when I do, which is like a little bit after 6, and we could get the whole thing wrapped up by 10.
Do we do one every year or every other year?
No, we do one every year. And it runs the gamut. Like a lot of times we would just go through what's gone on, during the year. Other times I've had Stephen put together like trends and things that are going on out in the marketplace. I don't think anybody has a crystal ball on that right now. So I don't know how good that would be to look forward. Or we can go over our stats. Alicia's really great of working with the Chamura data that we've handed out to you all in the past, just to do a snapshot of like where the city is in terms of just demographics and, building permits and, all of the things, to just look at that. We can also count the ribbon cutting as part of your retreat if you want to. I mean, I don't even have to move it. We could do a meeting in here and then you could go to that. Because you remember last year we went to Bosch and Lom and they took you through I think it's really good for you to see the projects that some of you were able to attend Delta Star. You're actually able to be on the ground and see the projects that you all are usually, you are behind the scenes, which is incredibly helpful, and you get to see that work. So I hadn't even thought of that, but that's certainly on the table. If you want to go ahead and have a meeting from 8:30 to 9:30, or I might back it up to 8 just so I get everything covered, and then go to the ribbon cutting. If y'all are down with that, okay, perfect. Done. Thank you so much. Moving on.
All right, next item would be staff report.
Okay. You all, the staff report that we're doing for you, I just ask, it's the end of a fiscal year, just to look at that and see if it's helpful. I'm trying to incorporate, you're the Economic Development Authority, which sometimes, leans very heavily on the economic development side, but tourism is under our office, museums is under our office. That's a lot of things going on there. There's a whole marketing team that works on those 3 items in our office, so I try to give you an overview of what all that is, especially on the tourism side. That's a really important piece of the economy here. Also, things that are just going on in the city, looking at city-owned property downtown, looking at, all kinds of different things that are going on. I try to put them in this report for you. Plus, Abby does a great job. Abby's our marketing manager, and she does a great job of looking at new businesses coming in, events that are going on, that type of thing. She provides that to a list of people, but mainly to the museum, the visitor center staff, so that they can let people know, what's happening and what's going on. And you all are ambassadors for everything we do, so this kind of just gives you an overview of that. But if there's anything that you want to see or something different on here, let me know. We've got, we have a couple of, we have one really big grant in the hopper. We don't know what's going to happen with that. Should know by the end of June, from the Virginia Business Ready Sites Program for Ivy Creek Sites A and B. And on the one hand, it can be what I asked for, which is about $2 million, which I feel like we will get. And on the other side, it could be much, much bigger than that. So that's great, and we've already, the city/EDA has been awarded a VDOT Economic Development Access Grant to help build that road that's got to get to sites A and B. So we've already been awarded that. And just other information is, I don't know if you have had the pleasure of meeting him, but Cedric Simon is the new airport director. He was the assistant airport director previously. He's also just had, he and his wife have had a baby, so he's kind of been out of pocket. So Andrew and I went to the Air Service Development meeting. This is my second one in 6 months. It's fascinating. And just mark your calendars again for August the 6th and 7th, because the Air Service Development consultant will be coming to town to brief the community in different meetings, right? We'll have people put together in different meetings there to just talk about what the possibilities are for Lynchburg in terms of air service, additional flights or additional carriers or combo, right? It's not easy, and you can imagine, it takes money. You want it, you pay for it. You don't just complain about it. You also use the airport, right? There you go. I know it can be challenging, but we got to pull together as a team or not. So that is all I have, unless you all have any questions on the staff report.
The VDOT grant for $850,000 that's going to help with the road. What would we assume that the whole road, with I guess curb and gutter and whatever else goes with it, what is that going to cost?
I would just tell you that where we are right now was we were, I think after due diligence, which we got a grant for yet again, VBRSP gave us a grant to do the due diligence on that site. And when I got that back, it was somewhere around $3 million, and City Council has in CIP for that project 2.4. So this would be, in addition, those two things that I mentioned earlier, the VBRSP and the VDOT grant are in addition to what that was. So we know that anything of this magnitude is not something that the EDA can fund. So if we want to have sites available within the city, the city, and they have, and I'm incredibly grateful, because if they hadn't programmed that money in CIP, I wouldn't have had a match. And if you don't have a match, you can't go after this money. So, and to date, I haven't seen that come under any type of threat.
So it sounds like you're well on your way to getting a road.
Yeah, and right now, it's really a question of when this happens, it will transfer over, the construction of the road will go to Public Works, right? And they will get a project manager, and then, you know, Alicia and I will project manage, probably take all of us, maybe we can, remember everybody, to project manage their project management from our office. We used to have a project manager back in the day from Public Works that was assigned to us. So it's been, that side of it has just been really great. And the response that we got for, Cameron is the PowerPoint queen, the response that we got from the site visit that we had from VEDP was really, really positive, and went to a whole different level, but I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. You know, they don't usually, we always talk about that VEDP a lot of times is funding much bigger projects, and they're usually in the, you know, Golden Crescent, so they're either on the coast, they're in Northern Virginia, or they're in Richmond. Everything that comes behind that, usually we don't have as much acreage, you know, sites that they're mega sites that they're really looking for, but also politically, they get a lot of heat for not working with the rest of us, right? So this seemed to be something that they got excited about at the meeting that we had. So I'm waiting to see. Could be a game changer.
Right on.
Okay. I'm so happy about the retreat, Cole. I don't even have to move anything.
Anybody got any more questions on staff report? If not, next item on the agenda will be closed session.
And Pavel will
We have two subject matters, real estate and an unannounced project to be discussed in a closed session and appropriate for closed session. So do we have a motion to enter into a closed session pursuant to section of Virginia Code 2.23711A3 for discussion of consideration of the acquisition of real estate for public purpose or disposition of publicly held property, where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position of the authority, and also pursuant to section 2.23711A5 of the Virginia Code, so that we can discuss prospective business or industry or the expansion of existing business or industry where no previous announcement has been made of the business industry interest in locating or expanding its facilities in the city.
Second.
All in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we are in closed session.
Anybody opposed? No.
So now we just need a motion to authorize Mr. Reed and Mr. Reed, our real estate consultants, to act as agents on behalf of the authority to negotiate on real property.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there any further business on the agenda before we adjourn?
I just have one little thing right before I
Yes,
came
ma'am.
downstairs, is that the sidewalks that are going in Lynchburg Center for Industry, those sidewalks were funded to a large extent by the Transportation Alternative Program at VDOT. And we have a sidewalk requirement at the city. So every time somebody expands a business to a certain extent, square footage wise, they have to put in sidewalk. So we've put in sidewalks with that type of grant at Ivy Creek, and we're trying to do the same thing in Lynchburg Center for Industry. So you've had they need an easement in order to put the sidewalks in. So I just sent you all to look at the calculations on what that easement is worth. You can donate the easement for the sidewalks that the city mandates have to be had by the people that are expanding in the park, and we're just trying to get the sidewalk put in. Or you can go by what the formula says the easement is worth. So I sent you the whole email from the consultant and Public Works, as well as the formula. So that's just out there, the property committee. I'll circle back around with you. I just, sometimes I send something to you and you just stand there going, I have no context to this whatsoever. So I apologize for that. But sometimes I'm just trying to get it off my list and say, I've gotten it to you, and then I'll call you in the middle of the night and say, here's what that means.
You said you sent it in your full email?
Yes.
Okay, so
And I
we,
also put the formula, the formula itself in your Dropbox.
Thank you.
But I forwarded the email so you'd have the context, and I gave you a little bit of narrative.
so that's something we can review, and then it'll be on the agenda in the
Yes,
future?
I'll take it to the property committee. I just don't know how quickly they'd want it, but I wanted to be able to speak to you all while we were sitting here, and then have you know what that was in the context of all of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other business? All right, we are adjourned. Finance Committee meets immediately following.